Hello, Bibi. Hey, Alex.
Hey.
Hey, CJ. Good to see you.
I can see it. I can hear it.
Oh, you got to be over here so they can see you.
Oh,
This is
Oh,
There's where you need to.
well, they think we joined anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
we can see you both. We know you're here.
all righty.
We tried it on 2 different ones and we couldn't get it but on one, so we're using one and we're together. We're
Hey,
joined at the hip anyway. It doesn't matter.
Togetherness is a good thing. That's all right.
You know we're sisters.
Well, I know you guys are always together, and that's a good thing.
See your microphone. See it come up here. You talk. Say hello.
Hello,
Hello, who is this?
Sharon Weber.
Hey, Sharon Weber. It just says S.E. Webb, so I wasn't sure who you
Yeah,
were.
that's right. That's it.
Yeah. You can actually change how your name appears so that everybody will be able to see your name. If you would like, if you click on participants down on the bottom, you'll get a little window that shows all the participants, and next to your name, one of the options is more, and you can rename yourself.
We don't want to rename ourselves, do
No.
we?
Now, y'all all right? I can rename you for you. I can put the rename for you if you want me to, Sharon.
Say okay.
Okay, go ahead. But
Okay. We don't have your video either. I don't know if you intended that or not.
I did.
We're working on.
Okay.
Yeah, we're dressed alike.
Are
Okay, look here.
We match it.
We
Match
matchy
it.
matchy.
You want to turn that on so also you won't
Yeah,
get the juice. It's
that
not going
is.
to pull that email up.
It's not gonna do it. It's just gonna wiggle it.
Hi,
Hello, Sandra. How are you?
I am fine. I'm gonna try to move this so I can't make it larger because it's in the way here. There we go.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. How are you? How's everyone?
I'm surviving.
I tried cleaning my camera and I'm still a little fuzzy. Do you want me to go to my iPad or is that okay?
I think it's all right. It's that beautification thing of how they blur people out on the screen to make them look better. That's what that is.
Okay,
Removes
well, I think
wrinkles.
maybe they're doing it because of age. We
Mine's
all
not-
look better. We all look better in a little bit softer light here.
Yeah, you know how in the movies they used to always blur out the woman to make her look better. So.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandra, it removes your wrinkles.
Good. Way to go. Said I would come early and maybe wouldn't be so bad for everybody else to get in.
Yeah, people have been just working their way in, so that's a good thing. Anybody else want to introduce themselves for the crowd?
Hi, Kay Fox.
Hey, Kay.
Ryan's
CJ.
around here somewhere.
Hey, CJ.
Hey.
Are you going to rejoin us this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Hey,
Woo!
wonderful.
Said you were around somewhere. People's on here.
Hi, Sandra. Can
Who is
y'all
that?
hear me? Headset in.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Can people hear me or no?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I can.
I like your pink earphones.
Thank you. Well, somebody else is watching something over here, so I have to, you know, mute myself. So
He's actually not watching it. I can see the Amazon pause screen.
He took, he just took the dog out for a walk.
I recognize that screen.
No, we just, we have to share areas and I Zoom so much now on, you know.
Yeah.
So I got these guys back from playing the old days of playing World of Warcraft.
There you go. There you go.
It's already closed out.
That's pretty funny.
Rudy, you want to introduce yourself to the crowd?
Can you see me?
No, but I can hear you.
Okay, well, all right. This says open system preferences. Do I click that?
What you should see on the bottom of your screen somewhere is a stop video, start video. Do you see
Oh, okay,
that?
I see that, yeah.
And so does it say stop video or does it say start video right now?
It says stop video.
So it thinks your video is running. If you click on the little arrow, upward pointing arrow next to that, there one of the choices should be select a camera. Do you see it with a camera selected?
It says FaceTime HD camera built in. And then it says choose virtual background, and then it says video settings.
You might have a security measure blocking your camera.
Great.
So let me think. If you click on video
You need
settings,
to allow the application to access the camera
yeah. So
in the application settings.
if she clicks on video settings, will it do that for her? Do you know?
What device are you on?
She's got a Mac, I think, or
Let me click on this video. Whoops, now can you see
There
me?
we go.
Woohoo!
Wasn't it Deborah Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
I still don't see you.
You don't see
no.
me?
Uh-uh.
Okay, well, let me just listen. It's okay.
Okay. Well, you're not the only one whose camera isn't functional at the moment. People are working on it, so that's okay too.
But this big black thing that in the middle that says allow Zoom to access your camera and says open system preferences is blocking everything. So I click there, right? Maybe
Yeah,
that'll
click on that, and one of your choices should be to say yes to allow it.
No, that's okay. Never
Yeah.
mind.
And Sharon and Roger have their microphones muted.
Well, a bunch of people are muted, and
Okay.
good etiquette is you can mute unless you're ready to speak. So we got a whole bunch of people coming in. So who else hasn't introduced themselves yet?
I am Mary Collette. I'm new to Crooked Creek.
Hi, Mary.
Welcome.
Dick McPhail.
Here's Sandra Wilkie.
Yeah,
Yes, I am here. This is easier than driving all the way to Columbia,
I bet.
so I don't mind this.
All right, let me see who hasn't said anything yet.
We get to see everybody's fans and lights in their.
Yeah, all the other
Yeah.
stuff. Debbie, you want to introduce yourself? You haven't said anything yet, I don't think.
I was muted, which is probably a good thing. I'm Debi Kelly. Nice to see everybody. Hey there.
Hey,
Awesome.
Debbie.
Roger, you haven't spoken yet. You want to say something? You want to introduce yourself? You don't have video, Roger. Did you mean to? And you're muted.
Sounds kind of like me.
And I don't see Dee Dee's trying to connect.
Yeah, here comes Sonia. Okay, if you've just joined us, will you go ahead and introduce yourself to the group? Anybody? Don't be shy. That's why we're here. Roger, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to introduce yourself to the group?
I think everybody knows who I am.
We've got some new people here too.
Yeah, we have new members.
Hi, Sandra. It's Ruth
Hi.
DeMiro. Hi, Ruth.
Hey, Ruth.
Hey, Ruth.
Hey, Ruth.
How you doing? Trying to find a good place for this to sit. It's really hard to do.
I know.
I have to do these video conferences with my doctors, and I usually stack a pile of books up and put everything on top of the books.
Wanted up higher.
Try that.
Well, I'm sitting on a pillow, so don't worry about it.
Hey, Rajas.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine. Hi, Barbara.
It's good to see you.
Same here. Can you hear me clear? Hi, Debi.
Hey, Raj.
Hi, Raj.
Mhm. But I can only see you from your eyes up.
That's her best part.
Hi.
You have mask on all the other time.
That's true.
Okay. Oh. Can you see me now?
Yes,
Yes.
I can. Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Everyone I will to come in this.
Okay.
You can put one more pillow or something.
Yeah, now it is okay.
Yep.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Karen, you want to introduce yourself to the group?
And
Did we lose you?
I'm Ruth
can you
DeMiro.
hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can't
But can you
see
see
still.
me?
We can't see you.
I know, but it says my camera's on, but I'm not showing up.
I can't see anybody either.
Hey,
So,
Hey,
sweetheart.
Mary.
Well, I
Hi.
can see you.
You can see me?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
can see you
see
just
you,
fine.
Mary.
Yeah, Mary, I can see you.
Oh, what do I do?
You just smile and we'll say you look pretty.
Okay, I'm getting adjusted with my pillow.
Let's see. Let me push around and see. I don't know.
Up near the top,
Okay.
Mary, look up in the upper right-hand corner of your Zoom window. There's a little button up there that changes from gallery to speaker view. That might let you see.
That's always been on my left, and it's not
Oh my
doing it.
gosh.
It's on the left. Yeah.
It depends on which device you're on. It might be in a slightly different spot, which is confusing. You'd think they'd make it consistent, but they don't.
Yeah. On
Darn
the
it.
left.
I've got left, but that doesn't do anything. It just puts me big.
Well, that's because you're speaking. That's probably okay. That means it'll change to somebody else when they're speaking, I think.
Well, I should be able to see everybody else that's on there.
When it's a group this big, the gallery view gets really, really small, so you're better with speaker view.
Oh, well.
Okay, speaker.
Mary, look on the left side of your iPad.
Yeah.
Look on the
I'm
left side.
pressing everything on the left, and
There's
not.
a box there with like little boxes inside.
Well, I know I've done it with Lisa's Care Connection, and I haven't had a problem. It's had gallery, but this doesn't have that.
Oh.
I don't know whether it's because of the difference in my wireless or my internet connection or what.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know.
All of you know that I've moved to Beaufort, right?
No.
I
No.
did.
I was going to send out an email and I never got around to it because, you know, I'm so busy sitting at home by myself.
Aw.
Hey, Mary,
Yeah,
you're not by yourself. I'm at home by myself now.
it's good. I like myself.
Me too.
I talk to
buried-
myself a lot.
I'm my own best friend.
Yes, yes.
I buried my husband a month ago.
Oh,
no.
I'm sorry.
Who's talking?
Joyce.
Joyce.
Who?
Joyce.
Joyce Oates. My
Joyce
husband
Oates.
Cookie.
Oh,
Yeah,
your
he had pulmonary fibrosis.
I know he did. I'm so sorry. I didn't hear about that.
Well, it was all over Facebook, but I didn't have time to notify everybody because
Well,
with COVID, you couldn't have
yeah.
a funeral except by graveside, and you couldn't have a visitation. There was so much you couldn't do with it like it is now.
See, Joyce, I just got a friend from you on Facebook like yesterday.
Yeah, I was trying to get off the grid, and now I've got to get back on. I tried my best to stay off the grid.
Let's see.
There's nothing
Will
like
be
friends.
visible to tissue.
Having trouble.
Select from your visual background. Darn. Now I'm off.
There's Roger.
Hey, Lainie, do you want to introduce yourself, Lainie? You're really, really dark, Lainie.
I was just going to go turn the light on.
Okay.
I think.
BB and Joyce.
Yes.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, darling.
There she is.
Hi, I'm Lainie.
Lainie.
Mary's still having trouble, huh?
Hi, Sandra.
Is mine stuck?
Well, at least you're better than I was. I couldn't get on. I'm with BB. We're joined at the hip.
I'm trying to get out of it and get back in it, and it won't do that either. I'm clicking on the X, and it says waiting. Darn it.
Did you move to Beaufort? Did you?
Mm-mm. No. It's a pretty place to be.
Sure.
Mhm.
So, no way. That's a
I
long way.
love
Doing
Beaufort.
them like this.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be doing them like this all year.
Well, I don't know any of you. I'm a new member. But my name says owner. My name is really Linda Eichhorst.
Hi, Linda.
And I just never got around to naming my computer anything, so it doesn't know what my name is.
Linda, if
Yeah.
you look at the participant list on the right, you'll have an arrow that says more. Do you see that?
Yes.
No,
Blue
I am
arrow.
really not very good at this.
That's okay. That's
Oh,
okay.
I see participants.
Uh-huh.
And now owner says, it says owner and me.
Yes.
So what should I put in? How do I do that?
If you click on the more that's next to your name,
Yes.
then one of the choices is rename.
Oh,
And you can
thank
put in your name.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. I've just got to get more computer savvy.
No, you're doing great. And you used to be a member, Linda, didn't you? You rejoined, right?
I was, and then I dropped out.
Better quit messing while I'm ahead.
And then you missed us.
I missed you too much. I got
You hear it though, right?
exciting in my life, and nobody's as exciting as another artist.
There you go. There
I
you
got
go.
the video on and my
I'll get you something to drink.
Some water would be good.
I see there's somebody there named iPad too.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, who is it that's named iPad?
Yeah.
Maybe me.
That was
Yes.
hey.
That is you. Yeah, so can you change
My
your name
face
so people
stuck on there.
be able to tell who you are?
Barbara, yours says you're Brian.
Yeah, I know. I should rename myself. This is his account. Next time we'll have the Creek Artling account.
Is that Donna
Hi,
there?
Donna.
Yeah. it's
Yeah.
Donna.
Hi, Donna. This is Joyce.
Hi, Donna.
Can anybody hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
you, but you're in the dark.
Hey.
You need some light on your
Yeah, can you
face.
turn some light on?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Now we can see you.
You got
I
to
know.
put your
But
water
I
on
bet
and
you
pull
can
it out.
see me
That
too
little thing
well.
right there. It's like a little table. Here. You can
Melanie, I don't see your
won't
picture.
mess it up because I'm throwing this out.
I've got it off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's going as soon as I find me a
You
small
want
one
to see me?
because I don't need
Yeah.
one.
Okay, hang on.
Too much room.
Can't just take that part out, Joyce?
There you are.
Hi, Sandra.
Hey,
But if you
Melanie.
take that part out, there's nothing going to be. It kind of connects together.
That caused the glare,
I
though.
never thought about doing that, baby. Tell you the
That's
truth.
right. Yeah, I'll just
Because see,
take that out.
Tookie has pulled all knobs off.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got that
It's
fan
at its
going.
best days.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Renee.
They're supposed to be like this.
Mary.
And see, these are
Hey,
ready to go.
Susan.
I see.
How
CJ.
come I'm the only one in a box?
Gosh, look at all you beautiful faces.
I know, isn't it awesome?
Hi, Barbara.
Hey, Sharon.
Like,
Which one? This
Hey,
one?
no, your light's good, Tommy. Your light's good.
For me?
And there's my second page.
He's got Sharon's iPad.
Yeah.
Wish I'd have used my iPad. You wouldn't have been able to see me very well.
Because I'm not getting, I don't think I'm too.
Hi,
quick.
Carol.
Hey. In the sky, it was kind of blurry.
okay.
Didn't see her good enough.
Can't see without these.
I love that face he's making at you.
Am I supposed to be in that?
Renee.
Well, we're getting a great turnout. I'm so
I know
excited.
it. I'm on 2 pages now.
I know.
Right
What
place.
does my thing say? It's recording.
It is because we are recording the meeting, so we'll be able to put it out for playback for anybody who wants to see it later, who misses it
I
tonight.
thought maybe I'd done something wrong.
No, it is recording,
Okay.
which I was going to announce before we get going too far, but
Yeah, I'll see a tail every now and then. It's my cat.
towel?
He likes Zoom.
Okay.
So you might see a tail every now and then, like right there.
Yeah, my cat does the same thing, but I shut the office door.
Cute.
I think I'm more likely to have whiskers than a whole tail. She was over here.
Yay.
I think Mary's got it.
Yes, I rebooted my iPad.
Yeah, you
And
look
now
good.
you can see us out.
Should I take myself out of the box?
No, you're fine in the box, but
You're good.
But you probably should rename yourself. You want me to rename you?
Well, I don't know. I guess
You're called
so.
iPad right now.
I am really.
Oh, you are.
Hey, Ruth.
Hey, Mary.
Can't decide if I need my glasses.
I'm glad to see you.
Somebody.
I'm glad to see you.
Yeah,
too.
just rename my iPad for me if you could.
Okay. It'll only last for this meeting.
That's okay.
But that way everybody will be able to see who you actually are.
Oh, now there you go.
Should I
Make this full screen.
just take me out of the box and just have everybody when they speak?
If you change
No,
it to
mine is
speaker
named
view,
iPad.
it'll focus on whoever's
Yeah.
speaking. That's probably the best.
That's your name on there, right? Debi?
Okay, there you go.
Good.
I'm gone.
Okay. All right. Let's see who all. Okay, so who hasn't introduced themselves yet? Anybody? Well, a lot of people.
It's Erdal.
Hey, Erdal.
Hey, Erdal.
Hi,
I'm Kay.
Hey, Kay.
I'm Mary Monroe.
Hey, everybody. I'm Randy.
Ruth DeMira.
Hey, Randy.
I'm Susan. I'm Alex
Hey,
DeFrancesco.
Oh, there's Kay.
Hey, Mary.
Alex.
I don't think they could hear you, Mom. You didn't plug in your mic.
Randy. You in the picture? Yeah.
They can hear me.
I see Maureen.
I'm here. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on here.
I know.
I was just looking at one of Tommy Thompson's paintings that I had that he painted over 30 years ago. One of his original.
Wow.
Now you're giving away his age.
Oh, he was in grammar school.
They can hear me.
You could see better.
You asked them if they could?
Yeah, I asked them.
What's the matter?
Oh, no. I think I messed up and my son's trying to fix my, I'm sorry.
We can see and hear you.
Okay.
So I think we're good.
Kate, is that Karen Larrabee that's dark? Or?
Yeah, no, my camera says it's on, but it's not working, and I've tried all kinds of things here, and I can't get it going.
But you can see us?
I can see all of you.
Okay.
And I don't know, the little green light is on and everything, so I don't know what's going on here. Worked the last time I used it.
Yeah.
And I turned it off and turned it back on, and it's still dark. What can I say? I hope it's not an omen.
I don't know how to get everybody.
I don't think it's an omen.
Yes, it's still.
But hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Said that.
When the COVID virus is over, I want all of you come to Beaufort and visit me and paint.
Sounds like a plan.
Wonderful.
Send us your new email, your new mailing address, Mary.
Hey, Mary, Jerry's packing to make the trip.
Yes.
Well, you said tell him to come on.
Yeah, I did.
Believe me, I'm ready.
He's not coughing, is he?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, he's just
so long as he's not coughing.
Beaufort is one of my favorite places.
Well, I've been trying to find my way around. I'm directionally poor, so I've used my GPS for a couple of weeks to get back home.
One of my favorite places is Hunting Island.
With all the water and the marshes and the bridges and all, it just all looks the same to me.
Ruth, are you still not getting any sound? Or Adelia, Didi, are you still not getting any sound?
No, I'm hearing everybody.
Right.
That's Ruth. This is Ruth.
Adelia or Didi, are you hearing everybody? Can you hear anything?
Thank you.
No.
Didi?
This certainly is a quiet group.
It is.
I'm still figuring
There's
out.
Didi coming in, maybe.
Well, I think she's in, but she's having trouble with her audio. You might want to check to make sure your speakers are turned on. Well, she can't hear me.
I can call her.
I'll send her a text. Tell her to make sure
Okay.
the speakers are on. I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. And while you're doing that, we have 37 participants on the call, and it is, I know, it's awesome. It is just after 7 o'clock. I think we probably should go ahead and see if we're ready to get started. If you think, Sandra, you ready for us to get started?
I'm ready. You can let people in as they come in. Now we're gonna, does everybody need to mute or just?
Well, let me go through a couple Zoom things.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I want to alert everybody that we are recording this meeting so that we can make the video available to members who were not able to join us tonight. And if you want to go back and rewatch any parts of it, you'll be able to do that as well. Once at a certain point, I will be sharing some video with you. We're going to do a video presentation. We've got a couple things, so I'll be sharing my screen with you so you can see those videos at a couple points. And so if your screen changes when we go to one of those segments, don't worry about it. And once I stop sharing that, your screen will go back to normal, to what you're seeing right now. A couple things you might need to know if you've not been using Zoom much. Somewhere on your screen, and it's in slightly different places depending on what device you're on, but usually on the top, there's a little box that might be on the right or it might be on the left that lets you choose going back and forth between gallery view and speaker view. Speaker view will let you see whoever is speaking large in the center screen at any good time. And since we got so many people, that's probably going to be the only way you're going to be able to tell who the heck's talking is to use speaker view. Gallery view lets you see everybody in little boxes, but because we've got so many people, that's going to take multiple screens with the little boxes even, because they'll only go so small. So you might want to find that and make sure you got it set the way you want. Also on your screen, usually on the bottom, there is a bar of different functions. It'll have a little picture of a microphone that lets you mute yourself or unmute yourself. The next thing over from that is the stop or start your video. And that lets you turn your camera on and off so that people won't be able to see you, although it's good etiquette to leave it turned on if you can. Then you have a participant button, and if you click on that, if you don't already see it, you'll see a little participant window show up on your screen. It shows everybody who's in the call. Next to that is a chat function. When you click on that, a little chat window opens up, and you'll be able to see all the chats that people share either privately with one another or with everyone. And you can do that as well with that chat window open at the bottom. You can choose whether you want to speak. There's a little drop down. You can choose whether you want to speak to a specific individual or to everyone, and you can type your message in there. And we are going to ask you.
Here's Kate.
We've got so many people in here tonight. We are going to ask you to use that chat function. So as we're going along, if you have a question or an issue or problem, use chat to let us know. When we do the presentation tonight, Tommy's going to be our presenter. And when he's presenting, if there's anything that comes up as far as questions, type it in the chat window. And when we get to the end of the recorded, we pre-recorded his session. When we get to the end of the recorded session, I will go back and read out loud any questions that came in for Tommy while the video was playing, and then Tommy will answer them. He's live on the call and he will answer those questions for you. You also have the option you might see over there to do little reactions where you can like do a thumbs up or a thumbs down. One of the options is also to raise your hand. And if you want to speak at some point after the video presentation, raise your hand and I'll recognize you so that we don't have everybody trying to talk all at once. Is a good way to do that. So try to use those functions if you can. And then the last button you'll see down there is end, which when we're all done, click that and that'll let you leave the call, leave the meeting, okay? Some general etiquette guidelines. If you're not speaking, keep your microphone muted because background noise from all these people gets overwhelming, and it makes it hard to keep up with what's going on. So when you're not speaking, go ahead and mute yourself. And like I said, use the raise the hand feature if you can, and use chat if you can. And I think that's about all that you probably really need to know as far as being able to function in Zoom. If anybody's got any questions about anything I just said right now, go ahead and let us know, and we'll try to address that before we get into the actual business meeting. We'll give it just a second, see if anybody has any questions. All right, hearing no questions, Sandra, I think it's you're up, Madam President.
All righty. Let's see. I don't see that I'm full screen. Does that matter?
That's because you are yourself. Everybody else should be seeing you.
Oh, okay.
In center.
All right. Well, I want to thank Barbara and Dakin who have worked hard to get all of the website and the Zoom and to sort of educate all of us. We are not experts by any means, and so we need guidance with this. I also want to thank Donna Reed because it seems like every other email that I get now is from Donna because we're all using Donna to send emails out to everybody. And so Donna, we thank you for that. These past 6.5 months have been extremely difficult for all of us, for many of us. Some of us have experienced losses. a spouse, a parent, a sibling, a good friend, a dear member of our league. There are others who are facing some serious health problems or issues themselves or with family members. So before we actually get into the business session, let's just pause for a moment of silence and remembrance and to show our support and care for one another. Thank you. I have just a few announcements, and I hope that everyone got the email after the board meeting. We're going to try to do this every time. We're going to have the board meeting a week early so we can send out information to you, which will hopefully keep down any business session to a bare minimum in our general meetings. Do want to remind you of a couple things. So if you haven't paid your dues, remember they're due no later than December 31st, and you can do it online. You can send it to Jean or Ruth, or I think even to Maureen, but probably to Jean or Ruth would be even better. October workshops are now on the website. There are 2, so please go there. You can register online. You can also contact Carol Blackwood, who is the workshop chairperson. You have seen on our website several things. The Anne Sweeney Memorial Award is on the website. If you would like to donate, then you can do so there via PayPal or through credit card. You could also send a check to Maureen, please mark it for the Anne Sweeney Memorial Award. If you haven't had a chance, on our website, there's reference to the Chapin Magazine article about Anne and Sonia, and I read the whole thing, and it is a super article and some beautiful paintings and just really nice to read. Kathy Dubiel asked me to see if anyone was interested in displaying in either blue lavender in December or the coffee shelf, which would be a December and January. Blue lavender would be 1 artist with 1 painting. The coffee shelf could be 2 artists with multiple paintings, and it would be for December and January. If you're interested, please let Kathy know. Kathy Dubiel. The TAP Gallery. Some of our award winners are online with us right now, and since March, all of the award winners' paintings have been seen by not a whole lot of the public, but a lot of the children that go in and out, and some members of Crooked Creek. But the award winners can pick your artwork up anytime at the park. They would prefer that you come on a Saturday. That's when the children are not there, but any day would be okay. You need to wear a mask, must wear a mask, and you should check in at the reception desk, just tell them that you're there to pick up the painting. Also, once you do that, notify Barbara so that she can mark them off her list and know that those paintings have been picked up. If any of you have artwork, now once we do that, it's going to leave the TAP Gallery bare. So if anyone has any paintings that you would like, or a painting that you would like to display in the TAP Gallery, let me know. I think we can handle probably about 10 pieces in there, or perhaps more. So the first 10 people who email me will be the ones that get to display in the TAP Gallery, and I'll notify you if you're among the first 10. I'm going to be there Saturday because I have to take something back to the park, and so I'll be there about 10 o'clock in case anyone's interested, or you can just drop it off and hang it as you want to. Don't forget the little tags that you need to have on there with your name and the information. Members in good standing, we still are going to have our MIGs, and you still will have to have attended 3 meetings in order to enter our 2021 juried show. Fingers crossed that will be able to actually be a live show with all of us there. We are going to be able to keep attendance. for our Zoom meetings, and we will continue to have Zoom meetings as long as it's necessary. But we're giving everyone credit for either the April or May meeting because we decide that most of you would have been to at least one of them, so you will need to attend 2 Zoom meetings in order for you to have member in good standing, and that would be before the registration in February. If you have any questions about any of those things, just email me and I will either answer them or see that the appropriate person gets them. And if you have any questions about anything that I've said, type it in your chat and Barbara can let me know at the end. Want to do something now that we would like to have been able to do in March at the reception, and that's to recognize some people. We're here tonight as Crooked Creek Art League members, thanks to the vision and hard work of our founding members. I want to thank Francis Burroughs and Faye Metz, who both have written a pretty comprehensive history of the League, and I want to tell you just a little bit about it. It's not going to take long. In 1994 and 95, several artists were taking Ed Cruz art classes at Crooked Creek Park and Anna Case English class at Midlands Tech. And in small groups, they discussed with one another maybe forming a league. They also enjoyed painting with one another, so when the classes were over, Jenny Branham approached Crooked Creek Park with the request that they have a time and a space to paint together. And the park said you can use the arts and crafts room, which is where we normally meet now. And that would be on Tuesday mornings, and so they did. Soon they started seriously talking about forming a league, so instead of painting, they hammered out the rules and a constitution and the regulations. They applied for a startup grant with the Cultural Council of Richland and Lexington counties, and they each agreed to take an office. Some of these are still members today of Crooked Creek Park. Some have moved away. The first president was Jenny Branham. Francis Burroughs was vice president. Michelle McNinch was secretary. Deborah Chase was treasurer. Ingrid Carson was the exhibits and sales chairperson. Faye Delia Metz was public relations and membership, and Sissy Cooper was the parliamentarian. They had their first general meeting September 25th, which is right around when we're having ours in 1995. What started as an idea in 1994 was just a few dedicated artists, has grown to over 110 artists today. To honor the first officers, can everybody see that? I was holding it up in front of me, so maybe you could almost read it since it's clear. Crooked Creek Art League is proud to present this plaque to those who are still members of our league: Jenny Branham, Francis Burroughs, Ingrid Carson, and Faye Metz. This one happens to be Faye's. I just picked one up. We want to thank everyone who was instrumental in getting the league started. And if you want to pick your plaque up, I can meet you at the park this Saturday at 10. If you would let me know that you'll be there, I'll send everybody, all of the officers, an email so that they can let me know when they will be there. I know that several of you, some of you are on the Zoom right now, had been meeting until all of this closed down together on Wednesday mornings at the park to paint. And the league has purchased their own Zoom account. And so if any of you are interested in painting together through Zoom, if you'll contact Dakin, McPhail, or Barbara for more information, then it's possible that you'll be able to paint with your friends in your own home rather than at Crooked Creek Art League. If you have any questions about any of that, of course, type it in chat. It's now my pleasure to announce the results of the Member of the Year voting. We had 3 worthy candidate nominees, and I would like to tell you some of the adjectives or phrases that were used by the people who nominated them, and they're in alphabetical order. Maureen Carter, excellent treasurer for past 5 years, diligent, admirable, committed to the league, participates in league activities such as special projects and workshops, a strong advocate for the league. Anne Sweeney, amazing lady, would have done anything for anyone. Participated in the mural project even though her health was failing. Family, church family, and art family were important to her. The league is better for her being a part of it. And the third nominee was Barbara Teusink. Devotes energy, talent, and time to the league. Project chair for the arts sale into Chapin and helped with the mural project. Has served in multiple capacities to ensure that the league operates efficiently. Amazing leadership skills and vision. And I liked this one, the Energizer Bunny, in promoting and encouraging participation in the league. The member of the league for 2019-2020, and you aren't going to be able to clap because you're all on mute, so I'll clap for everybody, is Barbara Teusink. Congratulations, Barbara.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And well deserved. And now I will introduce Barbara back, even though she's the only one that I see on my screen besides little bitty ones at the top, for some additional awards.
One quick question before we switch. There was a question regarding the tap gallery. Photography would be okay in there as well as paintings.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I will get the park staff to select a best in show that we normally do for the displays in the tap gallery. So it could be any painting right now. There's not a particular theme.
Okay. And TC has offered that he would be a site for drop off and pickup of those plaques if we would want.
Oh, thank you. I will do that. And I will bring them by on Saturday morning if that's okay, TC.
I think he's muted still, but
okay.
He's
and,
listening.
And I will notify those people that they.
Oh, did you hear me? Said no problem.
Okay, thank you, TC.
Okay, now on to my portion of the agenda. So we had, obviously, a juried show. Y'all may remember that, sort of, kind of, because we had weird circumstances and we didn't get to do all of it. We didn't get to do the regular reception. And so one of the things that normally happens at the reception that we did not have the opportunity to do because we didn't meet is to announce the winners of the Members' Choice Award and the People's Choice Award. So we have these two big ribbons. Can y'all see them? That we need to award yet. Okay. So in that vein, I'm going to switch over and share my screen real quick. And let y'all view this. All right, you should be able to see a screen. Can y'all see it? Somebody say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So, woohoo, jury
Yes.
show. We had People's Choice, and the winners are, the People's Choice is Ruby Deloach with Briar Patch Bunny. Woohoo! Congratulations, Ruby. And People's Choice has this big, beautiful ribbon that I showed you a second ago. And then the other one we have is Members' Choice. People's Choice can be voted by anyone. So that's members of the public, anyone and everyone. And we had a lot of votes for People's Choice this year. So people really liked that opportunity. So congratulations, Ruby, that so many voted for you. The other award we do is Members' Choice, which is based on the voting only by our own members. One member, one vote. So this is really kind of the artist selection side of things. And so every year we allow that to happen. This year we did that voting online. So thank you to everyone who took the time to vote. And the winner for the Members' Choice, who will receive not only the ribbon, but also an award cash prize of $100, which Maureen will mail to you, is Pretty Pointer with Summer Maine Roses. So congratulations. Those were the two winners for those. And I hope that y'all enjoyed seeing those paintings when they were there. And now you should see people again, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. All right, so that's the awards. And next I'm going to introduce Kay Fox, who is our vice president this year, and she's going to introduce our presentation program for tonight.
Good evening, everybody. I'm honored to introduce our speaker tonight, a multiple Best in Show winner. He's originally from Kentucky, but a South Carolina native since 1965. He's taught numerous classes and workshops since 1989. Currently he is concentrating on a large contemporary artwork board in canvas. He's been fascinated by the intensity of color and the representation of light and shadow in his work. With the new acrylic mediums, he now includes texture and relief surface work in his creations. However, his real love is still small watercolors, which he teaches and enjoys creating. With no further ado, I turn the program over to the one of our own, Tommy Thompson.
All right, I'm going to share screen again, and y'all get to watch the video that we pre-recorded of Tommy so that you'll have all of this ready to go. So your screen's about to change again.
Glasses.
My name is Tommy Thompson. I am a member of the Crooked Creek Art League, and I have been asked by some of the members of the board to do a virtual talk and walkthrough of my studio, which is over here behind me, and kind of get the ball rolling on what we're going to be doing in the future, especially if this COVID thing keeps us isolated. I've been in Columbia for a number of years. As a matter of fact, I've been a member of the Art League. I wasn't a founding member, but I was close to it. I think I've been in it about 20 years. I know a lot of you all, but there's been a huge influx of new folks coming in, especially in the fall. So there's a lot of you I don't know yet, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. And we've moved around a lot. Sharon, my wife, and I got married in '69 when I finished my schooling. And I had a commitment to the United States Army. So for '69, '70, and '71, they stationed me at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And we really hadn't been out of Kentucky, hardly at all. But we came down here, and over the 3 years, we just really fell in love with the place. And we went on, we completed that tour of duty. There were others, and moved around a little bit. And then in 1978, we moved here from Los Angeles, and we settled in Irmo. We have 2 children. They grew up in Irmo. They went away to college. They got married, and they left. And then Sharon and I started talking about we needed to downsize, and we stumbled on this piece of property right here. And part of the selling of this piece of property was the fact that there was an old fishing cabin that was here. It was kind of run down, and Sharon pointed out, she says, well, you can make that an art studio. So wham, we're not gonna walk away from that. So we didn't. Plus, she's a master gardener, and there's plenty of gardening spots here for her. And I've got a vegetable garden, and this is idyllic. It was good. To kind of talk about what I do, I have gone through a lot of different stages in my art. I've started out just as a kid, and in high school, junior high school, along that line. You do pencil drawings, and you just kind of mess around a little bit. I eventually got into watercolor, which is really my first love. I really like piddling around with watercolor. They're small, they're fun, they go together quickly. And from there, I've evolved into doing acrylics, and I've been doing contemporary abstract stuff big, and I'm really liking that. But we'll see all of that when I get in there. I think that's about all I need to tell you to introduce where we're going. So the next thing is that we're going to do a walkthrough of the studio, the doghouse, and then I'll talk some more about the stuff that's in there. One thing I'd like to point out is that when I was tagged to do this, the lady that I was talking to said, well, you can just take your phone and film yourself walking around and point out stuff like that. But she didn't realize the fact that I was inept electronically. And if I had had the foresight at that time to tell her, this is the extent of my electronic ability right here. And this thing's about 20 years old. It's probably as old as this property is. So, and I don't think it's even capable of doing a video, but I can take great pictures with it. But so I thought, well, this isn't going to work. So at any rate, Barbara Teusink was kind enough to come over here and stand behind the camera and do this for me so that I don't have to look like a fool with a flip phone. So go into the studio and we'll look at stuff. Here we are at the beautiful doghouse. That was the name that the kids gave the studio. And as I said earlier, this was a fishing cabin built in the 50s that was in pretty bad shape. So we had to redo the inside, and we put an extra room in it. And it's now it's really functional. I'm comfortable in there. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but I can get around and I know where stuff is. It hasn't been cleaned for almost 7 years, and expect that when we go in the door here. This is the doghouse. The reason we've got all these pigs around here is because this is my pig cooker. And we have stylized pigs all over the place. We used to do a lot of pig barbecues. We're not doing so much anymore. And now with this COVID stuff, chances are we're not going to do any this year either. But that's just the way things are. So let's, without a further ado, why don't we go in? Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Oh, what a good girl. This is my dog, Tyra Banks. She is, she's a good girl. She really is. And then we have one more dog, and that's Willow, and she's a golden retriever, and she's crazy. So, at any rate, come on in. Okay, we are in the interior now. The air conditioning is on, which you gotta have. And we're just gonna kind of take a little bit of a tour down that side into the next room. This was the add-on room. This room wasn't here when it was a fishing cabin. But this, all of this over here was. This is the area where I do the watercolors. As you can see, I don't lack for supplies, and I probably go a little bit overboard, but I really tend to like the golden acrylics on the acrylic work that I do. I've got a lot of the fixatives, a lot of the mediums here. I have storage here for mat board, birch board. The canvases are stored in the next room, and paper. I'm really big into 300-pound Arches watercolor paper. So that's where all this stuff is. And we come in now to what used to be the fishing cabin, which was built by a bunch of guys on the weekend with a lot of beer. And the whole place was held up by these things right here. This is a cedar post. And I'm sure that those guys went out in the woods and cut down a bunch of cedars and used that as the rafters to hold everything up. So when I had it remodeled, I told the guy that was doing it, I said, for Pete's sakes, keep one of these things for me. I want to, you know, I always want to live knowing that I'm living in or working in a place that's held up by cedar poles from the property. More storage. This, as you can see, this place is overrun with paintings and stuff. Of course, you got to have a spot. If you don't, you know, have ready access to a retail outlet, you got to store it. So you can see I've got paintings in here everywhere. This is another thing too that the guy that did my remodeling, I told him, I said, you know, I've got to store these canvases somewhere. And he says, okay. He says, I'll tell you what. He says, I'm going to put a door up here, chain it up, and you can put your canvases up there. And I thought that was an outstanding idea. So anyway, that's what that does. And I have my sink out here. There is a bathroom, believe it or not, in here. We even have a shower. And this is more storage back in this area. This is a tool here that if you have a studio, you need one of these choppers. So that's where this lives, and it gets a lot of use. As you can see, we have a scenic view out here, and we've got plenty of room just to store stuff, but we don't have a lot of room to walk. And therein is sort of the problem. Over the years, and we've lived here now about 17, 18 years, and I'm a collector. I collect memorabilia and antiques and stupid stuff. And, you know, I've got the Arrowhead collection that I collected as a boy in Kentucky. And, you know, it's just, I like to gather stuff. And that's what these signs are around here. I've got stuff that I got from my military career. That sign, the Trident, was a sign that I made from a cutting board because we at one time had a beach place at Edisto that we named the Trident, and I had to make a sign to put on the outside of it. So I took some small tools and I cut that out, and when we sold it and got out of Edisto, I kept that. There's old antique stuff. I really think it's cool to collect old pallets, and it doesn't hurt to put some words on it. And I firmly believe that it's all about color. It is. It's all about color. And people, you know, it's like this thing right here. If this were solid white, it wouldn't appeal so much as if there was splashes of color. And that's important. Painting is never finished. The artist merely stops in an interesting place. I don't know where I got that, but it's not original with me. I picked it up somewhere along the line. You're only as good as your last painting. I firmly believe that. You've got to keep striving and trying to do better. And then, as you all know, everybody knows that the next one, do not do, there is no try. That was uttered by Yoda in episode number 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Of course, I have grandsons. I know very well about Star Wars. So, and then the last palette up there is an old one, and that's a real antique. And I picked it up in North Carolina at an antique store, and it's valuable. That's very valuable. And then the thing, I spent some time doing stained glass and stained glass windows. And that's just there. And then the off limits sign over there was something I picked up from my military days. And this is the easels.
I got you back in if you want.
I've got this set up for display later on. We'll talk about that. Again, you can see.
I can't fix it. I don't know.
I got more stuff than I'll ever use, but at any rate, I've got it. This is where I do a lot of the cutout work. I'm working in three-dimensional qualities on stuff now. Like this is a three-dimensional mixed media piece, and we'll come back to this. But that's what's going on here. And then the two easels in the front are where I do most of the acrylic work, and I'm working on some bigger pieces now than when I do watercolors. They're small. They're not very big at all. 8 by 10 is not uncommon, but the acrylic pieces are big. And let me talk a little bit about the three things that I'm doing, which is this. I work in series. Like a lot of artists, if they get an idea that they're really shot in the butt with, and they really like it, they will do a series. I mean, they'll do one and they'll think, gosh, that was really neat. And then they'll go and they'll do another one. So that's what I did on a series that I call Urban Renewal. And this was the first one I did. And you can see the date down there is from 2011. And this whole thing, this series came about because Golden had just come out with an iridescent acrylic paint. This was the first time they came out with that. And when I saw it in the store, in the catalog or whatever, I thought, that would make a really cool moon. So I got some, and the moon was the primary thing I was looking for there. And then the rest of it just kind of exploded out of my brain. And the tree, and then the field of irises down here. So we've got total desolation, a dead tree, a stark environment, and then lo and behold, you got these beautiful little moonlit irises down here in the bottom. So when I finished this, I really liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. And then I went from there. I'm working right now on Urban Renewal number 7. So I kind of got in a rut on that. This was one that I did last year, 2019. And again, it's all this desolation and ruin and broken down and everything else. Yet there's a thing of light and things coming back together and maybe not so bad. And this was Urban Renewal number 6. So you can see I've been in a rut on that. Well, the thing of it is that at Christmas time, my daughter, who lives here in town, came in here, and she always comes in to see what I'm working on. And she turned around to me and she said, Dad, she said, aren't you getting sick of all the desolation and ruin that you've been painting? She says, people want sunsets, and they want children playing on the beach, and they want vases of flowers. They don't want to see a pile of garbage. So, she threw cold water on me, but she was right. So, as it turns out, I was working on Urban Renewal number 7, and that's this one. And it's got a ways to go, but this is going to be the last one in that series. I'm going to have in this storefront over here, I'm going to have some mannequins that are all knocked askew and torn up. Have a busted up grocery cart down here. I'm going to put some lettering here on this sign. But the key on this is going to be in the middle. I'm going to have a really pretty climbing rose in full bloom. So it's going to be the dark Kelly green and the bright naphtha red. And it's so again, it's the contrast of the jumped up environment, the total devastation that's there, and then in the middle there's going to be sort of a sign of hope, if you would. Hope's probably not the word to use, but you get the idea. So anyway, this, when I finish it, which will probably be in the next month or so, that's all of the urban renewal thing. So I needed somewhere to go, and that's where we'll be going next. Okay, so Stephanie, my lovely and beautiful, talented daughter, had disparaged my urban renewal thing, so I needed someplace to go. Well, one thing I really like to do is mixed medium, three-dimensional stuff. And I had this one in the works for a long time. And if you look closely at it, these are layers of material that I have cut out, that I've cut out with an X-Acto knife and kind of just put it together. And I'll show you some more of the ones that I've done. Well, could we go over and look at that one right now? This is, you know, stuff like this. You know, it's a contemporary abstract type of thing, and they're fun to put together. It's almost like doing a jigsaw puzzle. And the color, you know, you put a splash of color in, but it's basically a white piece, which makes it, in my opinion, a really contemporary piece. So that's kind of where I was going. I won't get into these, but at any rate, if we come back over here now, with this one, the bugs weren't on there. And that's kind of where I was going. I was going to be putting some color into this thing. And I came over here in the studio one day, and this thing, not finished, was laying on the table, and there was a beetle on it. And because you know, I have bugs in the studio, I admit it, okay? There was a beetle on there, and I thought, you know, I've been looking for color, but you sure aren't it. But then I got to thinking, what's a colorful bug that might go with this thing? And the ladybugs popped into mind, and I thought, well, that might be kind of a cool thing to do. And so I did. I made the ladybugs and stuck them on there, and this became migration number 1. And it's it came out, in my mind, it came out pretty good because it's interesting. You know, people, if you're in a gallery and you're standing over there and you see this thing hanging on the wall, you will probably walk over to say, well, you know, what did this fool do with all these red dots on this thing? And then you're going to see it's ladybugs, and then you might say, that's kind of cool. And so, and again, like we talked about earlier, you know, I'm of the mindset that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do a series. So this was number 1, and this, I thought, well, what would be something else that I could do is the migration series, and I've always admired these guys that do water, and women that do looking down into the water to see the koi fish or the goldfish or whatever it is, and I always thought that was kind of cool. So I thought, I'm going to do some, you know, I'm going to do the same thing. But this time I'm going to use some goldfish. And so this is migration number 2. And from there, I thought, well, what else is kind of neat? Now, Barbara suggested butterflies and she suggested dragonflies. I couldn't quite figure out the dragonflies, but I got the butterflies. So this was migration number 3. And again, the same thing with the background material put in there, the element, that's right, these should be called the elements. But the butterflies I made, and again, this is migration number 3, and I thought, you know, the butterflies came out pretty well, but my wife is really into swallowtail butterflies. She's into gardening and wildlife and all of that, and she really loves her swallowtail butterflies. So that was the next one in the series right there. And as you can probably tell, there's a dimensional quality to that. So what you have is you've got the background, which is a grass cloth, a Vietnamese grass cloth. There's some more stuff here. The white stuff I have cut out, and then the butterflies I have cut out and put together and then painted. And that led to the last one in the series, which I am most proud of, because being in South Carolina, everybody is quite taken with the little turtles. And these loggerhead turtles, as you know, down on the coast, the eggs are buried in the sand. There is a mass uprising when they all hatch out, and they come out and they scurry down into the water and they're gone forever. And everybody loves the turtles, you know. So that's what this is. And this is, and I'm going to show you in a minute how you can make these turtles. And trust me, it is a pain in the butt, but they read well. People identify with them and they like them. So this is, let's see, this is number 5, and number 6, I don't know, I think a really good one to be is, if you could figure out to do it, would be the anoles, you know, little green lizards that you see scurrying around. It's going to take a bunch of work on that, and especially to get their little feet, the little toes, because they have toes. That's going to be hard to do, but I might do that. Or I think I'm going to be doing some more turtles, because everybody likes the turtles. So let's go look at some more stuff over there. I'd like to take a minute and show you all how I'm doing the critters that are on the migration series. This is the piece of paper I cut the goldfish or the koi fish out of right here, and you've got to do a pencil drawing of them, vary them a little bit with regard to the way the tail flips and flops, and get the right proportion, and then the pencil sketch, take an X-Acto blade or a surgical scalpel or whatever you happen to have and go around and cut it out. This paper is a mixed media paper, which works extremely well when you're doing 3-dimensional stuff like this. And it's a little bit thicker. It takes you a little bit of time to cut it, but you can actually sand it. If you get a little place that's not quite right, you can take some ultrafine sandpaper and just polish it down. I wanted to take a minute and show you, you know, we talked about the turtles, and everybody loves the turtles, and the turtles are actually made from 9 different pieces of the paper. And what you need to do is, this is the turtle's, that's his nose down here. And this is his little collar, which is on the second piece. And then on top of that, you start to assemble the shell. That's the bottom. This is the secondary one. This is the third one. And then their main flippers are the big ones in the front. This one needs to be cut a little bit, so it's going to stick out more than it really should, but you get the idea. Well, let's do it right. And then these are the back flippers. Okay, that's basically the way it goes. I would have trimmed this back a little bit and changed that a little bit, and actually got a little bit of an angle on the top flipper so that when they are on the board, they're not flat mashed down on the thing. There's a little bit of play there. What you have to do is that you have to join these 9 pieces together. And you don't use glue, you use acrylic medium to stick everything together. When you get it finished and everything's together, then you paint it. And it takes a little bit of doing to paint it, but the end result is really cool. And I'm not touting my own horn about those loggerhead turtles over there, but I think they are really cool, and you'll feel proud to do it too. That's basically how you do it. Whatever background you want, you can come up with any number of things. I'm getting ready to do another thing for my wife, for Sharon, because like I told you before, she's into these swallowtail butterflies. So that's what all the pieces are going here. Now the swallowtails, that's only 4 pieces, 2 tail pieces and 2 top wings. And then the other piece, well, there'll be another piece in there, which is the body. But that's how you do the 3-dimensional stuff. And while we're talking about the 3-dimensional stuff, let me show you some of the other things that you can do with it. These smaller pieces work well. And you can use everything from clock gears to, you can make little things like this. Like I took 3, they're not chopsticks, but they're 3, I don't know what those sticks are, but I took some old twine and wrapped it around and adhered that in here. Because I was military, I've got a lot of the military insignias and emblems. And emblems and stuff. Okay, this is British. And it's the Fusiliers and a clock gear, and you can just put any number of stuff that you want in there. Here's another one. This is a lot more simple, and but it goes together quickly. You can put any number of things in there, and well, that's enough said about all that. Let's go somewhere else. So we're going to change directions a little bit and go from the 3-dimensional stuff and the urban renewal, and we're going into watercolors, which I really like, and I've always liked, and they're a lot of fun, and I really highly recommend them. This is our, Sharon and mine, 2020 Christmas card, and I just got it back from the printer. And if you all like to have things printed, I really highly recommend Pine Press. They're over in Lexington. They're right behind the big post office. And they do, in my opinion, they do a really good job. Sometimes on these little watercolors, it's hard to get the colors right. And the color that always trips them up are the blues. And you can see they've overdone the blues a little bit here, but it's not a problem. They really aim to please, and they do it. So here's the Christmas cards we'll be sending out. And when I do the watercolors, I always like to start out and do a little sketch to kind of get the, where I want stuff placed and what colors and how dark and yada, yada, yada. And I hit it pretty well on that one. This one, I had put some footprints in the snow to signify that the old farmer was going out to do the chores in the barn on Christmas morning. And it didn't read well. I knew what it was, but I think people may not have. So I left the footprints out of this one. I'm really into old barns, as we talked about before. Coming up in rural Shelby County, Kentucky, I knew barns quite well. And old mailboxes that were falling down and old gates that were falling down. I really, really like to do this stuff. And all of my Christmas cards for the last, 10 years, maybe longer, have been various barns that I can pull up out of my memory. Although it probably is not the way that the barns really look, but I was a kid, and you get an impression of, like I got an impression of the silo and the rock facing and all of the rest of that. But at any rate, I enjoy doing this a lot. And watercolors is something I started out with long time ago. And I want to just take a minute, and here's the Christmas card from 2017. And here's 2005, and there's the spring house. That was a couple of years ago. But at any rate, I want to talk to you about an artist that has had an influence on me. I've never met the guy. I've corresponded with him several times. He's Canadian, and his name is Peter Scheller, Scheller, and he's in Ontario, up in Canada. I've got two of his pieces here that I bought from him. He sells his stuff on eBay, but he has demonstrations on YouTube. And I really, if those of you who are into watercolor, you need to kind of just watch a couple of his things. They're really good. He works fast, and he does stuff that watercolorists have not done, have been allowed to do for years and years. Like the old axioms on watercolor is that you could never use opaque pigments, you couldn't use pencil, you couldn't use ink, you couldn't use anything other than watercolor, pure and simple. Well, everybody adhered to that for a long time, but it's the new materials that are out now are so good in quality and permanence. There's no reason not to use them, and he's kind of leading the charge on using inks. And if you look at this, I bought this. Sharon, my wife, the master gardener, is also a bird person, and we've got bird feeders everywhere, to include hummingbirds, so she's real proud of her little ruby-throated hummingbirds. But this is a thing that Scheller did, and this is all ink. It's outlined. This is watercolor with an ink outline, but I'm just totally taken with the way it comes out. And he's done some of the detail work on the bird in that. And here's another one that I bought from him. I saw him do this as a demonstration on YouTube. It's a simple little watercolor, and this is all ink. The trees are outlined in ink. The little twigs are ink. He's got a lot of doodads in here. The thing that impressed me on this when I watched him do it, and it's probably still up, is that he knocked this thing out in like 10 minutes. And he talks you through it. He's got a lot of stuff that he does with architectural stuff. He does a lot of the plants and the snow scenes and that type of thing, which I dearly love, especially for Christmas cards. You know, they're all snow scenes. But with his tutelage, although I've never talked to him, I went and started using a lot of the new pens that are out that have incredibly small nibs. This piece right here, now this is a G clay of this particular one because this one has been sold, but you get the idea. If you look at this, look at that tiny line right through there to signify the barbed wire fence. I got it over here too. It's an 005 or an 003 ink pen, felt tip marker pen. They are so small you can get all the little tiny lines in there, and it makes your life so much easier. If you can go in with a brush, you could never get lines this small, and you could go in and you can do these real fine little things to signify the boards and the rocks and all of that. So that's my tip to you. Look up Peter Scheller, watch some of the stuff he does, especially the old houses and the old farmhouses. The guy is really talented, and that's what I'm doing now. And I want to show you a couple more. We're going to have to turn the camera around though. Okay, hang on a minute. I got a couple I'll show you that kind of fit in with what we're talking about.
Okay.
This is a case in point. It's about what we were talking about with the pens, and I'm going to show you the pens here in a minute so you'll know what they look like and where to get them and all of that stuff. But again, if you look, the barbed wire is a 005 or a 003. You could never do that with a brush. I don't care how good and how steady you were. If you're doing watercolor, you're not going to be able to get that final line. And all of the lines in the barn, and there's a lot of them I put in this thing, are done with the 003 sepia tone ink. But the watercolors are good, they're fun, but I think that the ink really enhances it. It gives it a lot. I'm into detail. I like the detail. I like to see all the panes in the windows and the little barn railings and all of the rest of that. And it brings it out. It's easy to do. This was our Christmas card from a couple of years ago, and this is one here. A year or two ago also. And again, if you know, we've got the classic watercolor sky, the classic soft blue thing, even some of the little ridging that you get down here with watercolors. But if you follow the small lines, the tree I did entirely with an ink pen, and then I colored it in a little bit. I can't tell you how much fun that is. And if you're into watercolor, sometimes the problems that you run into, you can lessen them by using the ink. So I highly recommend them. And let's see, now I want to show you guys what those look like. Let me do that. Okay, these are the pens, and like I say, I have been using them now for a couple of years, and I really are quite taken with them. They're called microns, and they have various sizes. This is an 03, and you can see That's really a small nib. You can see the little black tip on there, and you can make some extremely fine lines with that. But if you want to really make extremely fine lines, this is a 005, and look at the size of that nib. Look at the difference. And that's how you can get all of these real fine lines on this. And I like I say, they're archival, they are waterproof after they've set, and they flow right in on the watercolor paper. It's really, really cool. You can buy these at Michael's, and you could get them in all the online things like Jerry's Artorama and some of the other ones too. So those are the pens. I'm a big believer in using 300-pound paper, and I buy blocks. This is Arches. It's 300-pound paper. It's cold pressed. You know, there's 3 grades of paper. There's cold pressed, hot pressed, and rough. And the cold pressed is pretty smooth, and it lends itself extremely well to watercolor painting. There's so many good watercolor paints, tube variety. I don't use the pans, the hard things. I use the tubes, squirt a little bit out in a palette, and keep using it over and over and over again. I think, you know, Lord knows I've droned on a lot, and there's no reason for me to continue to drone. As I understand it, when you all see this, I'm going to be on the Zoom thing, and you all can ask me questions. Please do. And you know, like I say, in the morning I come out here with a pot of coffee, my dog, and I turn on the radio. And artists are a lonely bunch. So if you are ever out driving around in Chapin and want something to do, you know, come over and see me. I'd be glad. I'd be happy to talk to you. I'd be happy to show you what I'm doing. You know, all of us artists are social as a social bunch. So, you know, don't be a stranger. And that's it from the doghouse.
All right, everybody should be back. Hopefully you can see the group again. We did have a couple people join us during the course of the video presentation. Sandra, are you there?
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
You want to introduce yourself, everybody? Sandra actually joined while we were doing the meeting, so welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Sandra Rogers. I am from Montevideo, Uruguay, and I just arrived a couple of weeks ago to Chapin, the area.
Yeah, and this. So
and welcome.
The
Sandra's actually a neighbor of mine from down the street, so we're glad to have you here.
And all that stuff.
Somebody has TV playing in the background pretty loud.
Job, and then I could do little like paint
that is unmuted. Ah, okay, that's better. Whoever it was. Okay, so we had a couple questions come in during the presentation. So Tommy, are you there? Can you hear me? You got it. Okay, so we got a couple questions for you. First one came in from Renee, and the question is, can you tell him again the name of the artist in Canada?
Yeah, the guy's name is Peter. I pronounce it Scheller, but it may be Sheeler. It's S-H-E-E-L-E-R. Peter Scheller. And he has numerous small watercolors that he does on YouTube. And I really encourage you all, if you're into watercolor at all, just go to YouTube and watch him, you know, watch him put together some. The it's usually 20 to 30 minutes. He doesn't talk you through it, but he puts in writing on the edge of the thing what he's doing and why he's doing it, and you can see him put together some really neat stuff pretty quickly. That's about it.
Okay, so the second question came in from Maureen, and she asks, does using ink in watercolor make it a mixed media piece?
I have wondered about that myself too, and
Yes.
it probably does.
Yes.
But in the old days that I alluded to when I was talking in the studio, if you did any opaque pigment, any pencil was evident, or any ink was in there, they would throw you out of a watercolor competition. The South Carolina Water Media Society, before it was the Water Media Society, was Watercolor Society. And if they suspected you of using some of that stuff, you couldn't get an award. As a matter of fact, a lot of times you couldn't even get in. So it probably is a mixed media, but nowadays you just call it a water media piece.
Okay, the next question came in from Bibi, and she asks, why did you name your dog Tyra Banks?
My son is an emergency veterinarian up in Charlotte. The little dog Tyra was attacked by a larger dog and chewed up pretty badly. The people that had the dog brought him into the emergency clinic, and they basically told Matt to, please put the dog down, that they didn't want the dog anymore. So Matthew and his wife have more pets than they know what to do with, because they're both vets and they both rescue dogs. So he had Tyra Banks. He named it, and Lord knows why he named it Tyra Banks, other than they must have been taken with her. So of course the dog ended up with mom and dad down in Chapin, South Carolina, and she is just the cutest little thing in the world. Glad to have her.
Okay, the next question comes in from Alex, and she asks, I want to know, what is the base for your modern pieces?
When you say base, do you mean like canvas, board, that type of thing, or do you?
Yes, canvas or board. What do you use?
I'm using canvas because nowadays a lot of the folks that like contemporary pieces, they want it big, and they want it on canvas, and they want it red. And I've heard that numerous times. And at any rate, that's primarily what I'm using. If I could get some of the boards, some of the hardwood boards that are available, but you can't get them bigger than a 30 by 40. One of these days they'll do it, and the new aluminum bases that they're coming out with, I'm sure will be that big somewhere along the line. The trouble is the darn things are so expensive. So I'm staying with canvas right now, although I think there's other things that will end up going to. I think canvas is kind of over the hill and will probably be gone before too much longer with the new stuff.
Okay, the next question comes in from Lainie, and she asks, do you teach?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm supposed to have a watercolor class starting in October, next month, and it's watercolor, and it's basically, if you sign up for that class, you're going to be painting barns.
You and Robert Mills.
Okay. All right. The next question comes in from Mary Collette, and I'm not sure, Mary, is this just for Tommy or is this for anybody in the group? But the question is, does anyone teach acrylics?
Lee Mons.
For anyone in the group.
Okay. So anybody want to raise your hand to say yes to Mary, who's looking for somebody to teach acrylics? Moving on. Sorry, go ahead.
Am I on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have thought about doing an acrylic class. And maybe that'll come about. I'm sure that there are so many other people in our art league that are well versed in acrylic and probably could teach it. Maybe, you know, if I'm going to do some watercolors, maybe somebody else can do acrylics. But I'd love to take you into my studio, the doghouse over there, and give you a quick cursory type of thing about what you need to buy, where you need to get it, how you work on canvas or board or whatever. You know, give me if that appeals to you, give me a holler sometime. I'm always looking for somebody to talk to out there. Tyra Banks doesn't respond.
Well, that's okay. And anybody else who's interested in potentially offering lessons to Mary Colette, her information is on the membership list if you're interested in offering something up to her as well, unless you want to speak right now. Okay. Are there any other questions for Tommy?
Barbara?
Yeah.
I'm happy to show her what I do with acrylics. I'm not a teacher, but I'm sure others would be too.
Okay. And
it depends on what kind of acrylics work you want to do.
I don't know if you want to speak, Mary, in answer to that to clarify the question. Also, Diana Smith says Newberry Art Center has a class in acrylics. So Mary, do you want to clarify your question any further? Or?
The acrylic I work with now, I do realistic paintings. I'm fairly new to it, so you know, anyone can show me how to do better, I'd love it, you know.
Okay. You want people to reach out to you by email or phone, or what would you like?
Either is fine.
Okay. Do you want to give that information here, or do you want to just have them look at the membership list?
I can put it on chat, or you want?
You go ahead and put it on chat. That'd be good. All right. Anybody have any other questions for Tommy, or other questions in general?
I was just going to say to Mary.
Video again.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I was going to say to Mary that, like Kate, I can show her what I do, but I don't necessarily teach classes much anymore. But I'd be willing to share tips and ideas and that kind of thing.
Right. All right. I think we're at the end of our questions. Does anybody have anything else that they want to speak to or say? Or
I'm sorry, I was typing. Who was that talking?
That was Karen Larrabee.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Sure. And Mary's contact information is there in the chat string. Sandra, do you want to say anything to wrap us up?
Me?
Actually, our president is Sandra Oliver, but you can speak first.
Okay. No. Yeah, I was surprised. Sorry, no.
No, you're good.
You can say something if you'd like, Sandra.
No.
Okay, we want to thank everybody, of course, for Zooming with us tonight. For some of you, this is your first time, and so now you're officially a Zoomer.
Woohoo!
Yep.
Unfortunately, we can't give outdoor prizes at this time in person. But Barbara, did you have an opportunity to put the names in a box or something?
I thought Kay was going to do that.
Okay, Kay, did you have an opportunity to do that?
I did, but I don't have the list at the table. I got to go get it.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is to draw 3 names, and each of the people will get a $10 Amazon gift card. Maureen will send either the card, probably an email, because you can do it via email, and then you can just enter that email number or code, barcode, when you go to Amazon. If the member whose name is drawn is not Zooming, then we'll put their name back for future meetings. And Sandra, do you want to do a duet or anything while we're waiting for Kay to come back? While we're waiting on her, if anybody has any suggestions for future meetings, anything that would make our Zoom meetings right now that we're having to do to go more smoothly. We want these to be enjoyable, and we want them to run smoothly, and we also want your input for it.
I would like to say two things real quick. I seem to have feedback going on, but two things I will mention real quick while we're waiting for Kay to get back. One is the Meet the Member video that we did with Tommy and we used for the presentation for tonight will be available as well as a recording of this entire meeting. We'll get the link for that posted out to everybody so you can see that. They're going to be available to you via YouTube, and we have a section we set up there for Meet the Member videos, and the description for Tommy's has links to the various art materials and supplies and stuff that he talked about. So you'll be able to get access to that as well. And if there's anybody else who would like to do and give us a video tour of your studio, something sort of like what Tommy did, and tips or tricks, anything like that, we would love to add that to that section. It doesn't have to be a presentation for a meeting per se, but if you want to give us a tour of your studio, we would love to have that. And let the other members meet you and see your space. We would love to share that with everybody. So please let me know, or let Dakin know if you're interested in providing one of those for us. And the other thing I would mention is we're also inviting everybody to be a guest author for the blog on the website. If you subscribe on the website, you get news updates and feedback and all kinds of information from the league. And if there's anybody out there who would like to submit an article that you wrote yourself or you found somewhere else that you love that isn't copyrighted, we would love to share that. So please reach out and let us know if you're interested in doing one of those things as well. We have a question from Bibi while we're waiting also. Who is the contact for the workshops? And that is Carol Blackwood. Carol, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, Will. I'm Carol Blackwood. What I wanted to get in anyway was that we do have an upcoming workshop with palette knife painting, with Rob Shaw. And that will be October 24th, a Saturday. It's going to be a Zoom class too. And we're looking for somebody for November because we were going to have a mosaic class, but that is pretty much needs to be person to person, face to face. And so we decided that probably needed to be delayed until a later time. So right now we've contacted a few people and we haven't had any success, but we'll keep working at it.
If you have any suggestions for a workshop, please let Carol know. And we have another workshop also, right, Carol?
We do. That's what Rob Shaw, or are we talking about Randy's?
Oh, wait, you haven't mentioned Randy's. I thought you might want to mention his too.
No, I hadn't mentioned Randy's. I'm sorry. Randy's is an interesting concept of looking at paintings and turning them into poetry, and then going the reverse way, looking at poetry and turning it into paintings. And that starts, I've forgotten what date that one starts, but that's once a week for 8 weeks. And he says that will really help you relate better to your subject, to your painting, the whole thing.
And Randy's on the call. So Randy, you want to say anything about that?
Oh yeah, that would probably be better than me.
Randy?
Okay, I'm unmuted.
There you go.
Yeah, I think this will be fun. We're going to do it on Zoom, of course, and we'll do it on Tuesday mornings, starting at 9:30, and we'll probably go 2 hours. And it depends partly on how many people sign up for it, because we really don't want to have more than 8 because it's really an interactive kind of workshop. I've taught similar kind of workshops, but never with like an art focus. And so it should be fun. I think it really does help you. What it means, you're learning to translate art into words, and then go back words into art in a different direction. I think it's interesting and can be fun. And we're going to try to start the first week in October, but if registration is slow, we can move it back a week and see. And I'm going to mail out some materials once I have the people who are registered. It's also dirt cheap, $10 to cover the materials you get.
Okay. Sandra, if you want to just randomly pick a number between 1 and
I'm here. I got it.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I said I've been back. I was waiting.
Okay. Did you add Sandra?
First one was Debi Kelly.
Okay. Did you add Sandra Rogers to our to your list, because she's our new member tonight?
No, I did not.
She should have a chance to. Okay. So the first one was Debi Kelly.
Debi Kelly. Do you remember how many I was supposed to pull?
3.
Okay, well, the second one that I pulled was Lainie McWilliams.
Okay.
And the third, Kate Harrell. H-E-A-L. I can't say.
Kate Heald. So that's our 3.
I was telling Randy when I spoke to him yesterday about something else that, and Maureen probably saw this too, and Dee Dee, if she's online, and you, Louise Fletcher, the lady that did the workshop that several of us took, her blog or she sends out something about once a week, and it was on doing a series of paintings based upon a landscape artist in England that she knows. And she's done an entire series of paintings based on his poetry. So we may be, Randy, you may be just opening up a whole new world for some of us. Any other questions?
No, but you know what?
Please stay safe, and we will see you all next month. Carol, do you have something you wanted to say?
I did. I heard that Sonia Dimmler got picked for the airport show.
She did.
That's gone out to everybody, but
wonderful.
Yes, I think there were just 3 chosen.
Thanks, Carol. There were 4. Yeah. Thank you.
4. Okay, sorry.
But still, big honor.
Yes, it is.
I was shocked.
I know, and on our website, was it Debi Kelly that had gotten an honor? Al Leach.
Yep.
So we've got lots of celebrities that met with us today on Zoom.
Woohoo!
So. All right, now everybody, next month, bring your own snacks, and we will meet on the 19th. And Tommy, thank you so much.
Oh, it was fun.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it too.
Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Great seeing everybody.
Have a good night.
All right, thanks.
Night.
Good night.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.